I did not have really high hopes, but if this is on streaming, if this is on the cinemas, the big screen, then that's a big mistake. If it's on streaming, it works perfectly because it's one of those movies whereby a bad guy, by the way, a great actor, but a bad guy is made to look like a bad guy. All black, like almost bulging eyes, that stoic look and tough talk. And it just feels too much like a villain, There's nothing more to the villain than that look of being a villain. Anyway, this is one of those movies that you can see there's a story, but you can see the directors and the production team pushing it away in order to try to create this convoluted story. By convoluted, I mean that this movie ends at some point. It gets to a point where something has happened to the character is somewhere else, and you know that this is where the movie ends. And the movie goes like, nope, there was another twist. But then if you're watching this and you've not seen the movie, at a particular point it will get to a particular point and you go like, yes, the movie has come to an end. But at that point, that's not where the movie ends. You'll understand it when you see it. There's something else that happens. Am I saying it's a bad story? No, I'm not saying it's a bad story. I think the performances are okay from the lead. The villain, for me, I had a problem with the look because it's all about the look. There's nothing more to the villain than that. And for me, that was nah. Great actors, but great performances from the main character. Now, let me just brush everything aside. Yeah, the story might have been weak, but the action set pieces were kinda cool. They were brutal, they were like super dope. I think there was an effort to make good action set pieces. For me, the standout was one, there's a party, there's a pool, and then something happens within that party and you get that hand-to-hand combat. And they do that, a bit of that speed ramp, which for me was kind of cool. And the main character actually looks like a badass. He looks like the Punisher. Actually, watching this movie, I just kept thinking about the Punisher. I'm not spoiling anything, but I just kept thinking about the Punisher. So after that particular action set piece, the other one that I actually really liked was a warehouse scene. There's a warehouse scene that there's a warehouse scene where the two main characters find themselves, and then these henchmen come in, and you get that exhilarating gunfire exchange. And for me, I thought it was pretty okay for that level of a movie. And then there was there were two car sequences that I thought were okay. Not perfect, but okay. So if you're going to this movie, it's a B movie. It's shot like a B movie because obviously the light work and the lack of like good establishing scenes. I thought that they wasted that because they were in some very good locations, and every time I kept screaming, do some wide shots, just have a wide shot to establish your scene, but they never really did that. The coloring is the same. I think this is from Millennium, and if you've ever seen any Millennium movie, you know what you're going to get in terms of the look and sometimes in terms of the performances. There's a scene whereby the characters are having a conversation and the main character, the guy and the lady have done something, and so the rest of the team is like, now you guy, who's our main character, our main protagonist, you're not going to be a part of this mission, we are switching to this other person. So, pretty easy scene. But for me, I had a problem with the fact that scene is shot with everyone standing in a room. Yeah, there's stuff happening outside, they're just standing in a room. One clearly has just put on a coat. I don't think it was her jacket, a blazer. I don't think it was a blazer. I think it was someone else's blazer because it was larger than she was. It just felt awkward to have them just stand there and have that conversation. It's that one scene you go like, come on guys, couldn't you have done something different? Couldn't you have just shot it from above? Because it doesn't feel, the actors don't feel comfortable in that particular space. It feels very, very much staged. Let me just put it that way. Apart from that, there are some really bad CGI. Oh my gosh, there's one, after that warehouse scene that I was talking about, there's that, the hero walks away from something burning. There's a scene that the hero walks away from, and you can see in the background, those are not flames. You can see that those are just, and then you have the halo. The halo whereby when you crop a character, you usually have feathered edges. I don't know if for designers, I think you'll get these feathered edges whereby you can actually see that this image is cropped out. It's not a very clean rotoscope. It's not a very clean, clean cut. You can see that some areas have been feathered off, and you can actually see how the flames react or behave behind. And I'm like, wow, how is it possible that these people did not see this, or did they add that to block something out? Yeah, so that was pretty bad, and that was pretty obvious. Something else that I liked, despite the fact that the ending scene was one of those, are we still doing this? They do something interesting with the cars. I wish they would have done something more, but that is just one small thing that I thought, okay, that was pretty cool. It must have been expensive, but that was pretty cool. So the Bricklayer is not a bad movie, but it's not a good movie. If I was to give this, I would give this a 2. Yeah, I'll give this a solid 2. It's something that you can put on while you're doing something else. Wait for the action set pieces, have fun with those. There's one opening one that is not very bad, and just have fun with the movie. But in terms of story, it's way too convoluted. Man, I did not talk about the blood person. The person who's in charge of the blood, the art department. My goodness, if you have an accident, there's no way you can have blood pouring from your side. Whether the glass, because you have airbags. So when you hit the airbags, you can see that the blood person, the person who's in charge of blood, was working overtime to convince us that these people were injured. I mean, there are places where you can see a close-up of a face. There is no scar, there is no cut, but you can see blood pouring out. I'm not dissing the movie. You've seen the trailer. If you watch the movie, you'll understand. Yes, it does a good job to show just how ragged and injured some of these characters are. But sometimes there are moments where you go like, come on, man. That was just a line that was just drawn, and then you poured red stuff on it. You poured syrup. Especially there's one of the character, like the camera is on this side, and then something like blood is pouring out. Then you can actually look at the liquid, and it does not look like blood. It looks like syrup. Anyway, that's the Bricklayer. Not a good movie if you're not in a hurry to do anything special. It's reasonably entertaining, but not perfect. Let me just put it that way. So basically that's it. Remember to always enjoy what you watch and watch what you enjoy. Please subscribe, like, and I shall see you on the next one.